Hello, ma'am. I'm Ozifa Hussain Usha. I'm going to present my research topic and analyze the important part regarding this. Let's begin with the research topic. My topic is about a comparative analysis on marriages in the novels Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen and The Odd Woman by George Gissing. Now, coming to the brief background of my research. Firstly, the novel Pride and Prejudice, the author Jane Austen waived four marriages and showed us the true social problems and characteristics of the Victorian era and implied her views on marriage. The story takes place at a time when gender roles were quite rigid and men and women had a very different set of options and influences. Marriage is a pressing question for female characters like Lucas and the Bennet sisters because marriage is the only way women can achieve economic stability and autonomy. As upper class women, they would not have been able to work to earn a living or live independently. Marriage offered one of the only ways to move beyond their birth families. However, a woman's marriage ability relied on an impeccable reputation for chastity. And for women like Georgiana Darcy or Lydia Bennet, a reckless decision to trust the wrong man could permanently ruin their future prospects. Lydia's elopement causes Lizzie to exclaim with horror that she is lost forever. If Lydia is living with Wickham without being married to him, her reputation will be destroyed. Now, the novel The Odd Woman by George Gissing depicts a clear picture on how women were treated. For women, marriage was the only way to set their identity. The main characters, Mary Barefoot and Rhoda Nunn, were considered odd because they couldn't attracted any husbands. Like Pride and Prejudice, marriage is the only way women can achieve economic stability and autonomy. Women were not allowed to live independent life and they cannot contribute financially. The novel is about two sisters who works outside, and at that time who works outside were considered as hoe. Coming to the research question, my research question is how do the marriages portrayed in the book Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen and The Odd Woman by George Gissing represent the role of women in Victorian age? Methodology. This work is conducted qualitative method and feminist theoretical framework. It has observation, focused group, textual and contextual analysis, and secondary research, Simone de Beauvoir's The Second Sex. Here, the author asserted that women are as capable of choice as men and thus can choose to elevate themselves. So, one of the most famous lines from that work is one is not born but rather becomes a woman. What I think Beauvoir means by this is that the roles we associate with women are not given to them in birth by virtue of their biology but rather are socially constructed. Literature review. All the article established connection with the feminist movement and various elements from the books Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen and The Odd Woman by George Gissing. Overall, all these sources speak about the domestic value of women and how they were treated. It also says the literature of 19th century put a great emphasis on the concept of marriage as social institution. These domestic fictions display a great shift in marriage from an aristocratic institution to a socially accepted institution that identifies the value of individual women. Some author pointed the continuity of writing from feminist perspective. More specifically, these sources are the evidence to get ideas about the perception of women. For instance, in the Victorian age, for a woman to be able to conduct a marriage, her social status was very important. Women, as a major part of society, did not stand out of this discrimination, but instead, they almost likely received the largest proportion of this difference. Now, the time scale or the Gantt chart. So, the selection of research topic took 4 weeks and the selection of research question took 2 weeks. Forming abstract took 1 week, literature review 1 week, analyzing the result and findings took 6 weeks approx. In conclusion, it can be said that both the novels represent the picture of womankind. Both the novel depicted the harsh truth of woman's life, and marriage put an important role to diminish women's independent life. Though the main themes were different, but both the novel connects with the notion of marriage and also depicts the Victorian society. As we know, Pride and Prejudice was in 1813 and The Odd Woman was in 1893. But one thing is prominent, that women's lives stood same. The society was more focused on marriage than choosing their own passion. This is what the harsh reality of Victorian society. That's all. Thank you.